Hello, everybody. We are all different from each other, and our differences are kind of mankind has created many labels for our differences. Religion, ethnicity, nationality, sexuality, and we often see our visible differences and kind of create our own boxes about it. What we often do not see is that we have the longest and strongest shared trait, and that is emotion. Love is love, joy is joy, pain is pain, and doesn't matter from where you are. And today I will talk about love. Love is connected to all our emotion, and I can claim that love is mankind's solution to mankind's problem. But my story starts in a different place. I was born in Afghanistan, where I experienced the opposite of love, hate. I often saw in the society that there was hate for each other because of political ideology, ethnicity, because of religion, and that made people to go in a war against each other and kill each other. Being a war child, it was not easy. So the only thing that matters when you are in a war zone is survival. There was constant fear inside us, especially us children. We was afraid of when they will start bombing again, when they will target your house, your family. That was not only the fear was not only existing in us. It was also we could see the wrinkles of concerns on adults' faces as well. The only place that I, as a child, had to escape from the reality that existed outside of our window was that to watch Bollywood movies. And let me ask you, how many of you have watched a Bollywood movie? Great. To the rest of you, I can only say one thing: I'm sad. I'm sad for you, and that Indian movies are on Netflix now, so you can easily watch them and understand them as well. In these 3.5 hours, I was living in the reality in the movie. My favorite heroes had this superpower of spreading love, kindness in the society, and at the same time, outside there was this hate and war. While I was living in this, I always wanted to get this power, this superpower, and wanted to change everything outside of our house. But in a few years, so our parent decided that they will save their own lives and my lives, and we moved to Denmark. We actually escaped to Denmark. And suddenly now I was standing in a country. Det et yndigt land. It is the first line of our Danish anthem, which means, roughly translated, it is like there is lovely lands of ours, and it was quite different coming from a war zone suddenly to a country. I remember that I was amazed by the welfare system. I was amazed by the welfare system that has free healthcare, free education, even with pocket money, and also cash assistance, and the list goes on. The most important was that nobody was lifted behind in the society. And for me, it was really kind of different experience. So I wanted to learn more about the society and wanted to learn more about what makes people what makes people to create a society like Danish. At this time, I was in primary school, and in primary school, I learned that there is something. I was amazed by the system, but I learned that system was secondary to something which was more important, and that was that the love for each other in the society, the collective responsibility for each other, and at the same time, the feeling of belonging to each other. I can tell you a small story. When I was in primary school, I had this retired teacher coming every day to the school and teach refugee students extra Danish lessons. Every Wednesday, she'd teach me 4 hours, and I was in these 4 hours I learned much more. I also realized these 4 hours was love given to me from a stranger. I, a Muslim boy from Afghanistan, where I experienced that hate, that differences made people to go war against each other. Here I was standing in a society and getting love unconditionally from somebody that I didn't know, a stranger. And suddenly I realized that system is something which is built, but people, the love among people, it's more important than the system. I kind of wanted to learn more about society, more about how is it happening. So I applied for political science at the University of Copenhagen, where I study political science now at the moment. And while I was trying to learn more about the society, and the whole meeting with academia taught me a lot, but I also got confused because the book could teach me the whole, our all view of how a society is built and how a system is built, but I needed something more deeper, something which was different. And then 5 years ago, I took a travel back to my sanctuary, India. I came to Mumbai. How many of you have been in Mumbai? Okay, yeah. So I checked into this big, tall, amazing hotel, and the view of skyscraper was really fascinating me. And next day, when I was standing in front of the window and I looked down, I was shocked because I could see all the slum, poverty. So I took a whole week traveling around the streets of Mumbai, and I fall in love with the street food of Mumbai. And when I came back to Copenhagen, I wanted to start a restaurant. And many people ask me why food business. And I have by time realized that food is like emotion. We all share it. And the fun fact is that we never hate food. If we also hate some people, but we will still, the food is, a dish is not a dish only for me. A dish is history, culture, love added to the ingredients and served on a plate. While being as a political science student, you are not taught to start a business. So, but my love for food and my passion for the street food wallas of Mumbai didn't stop me. So I started my first restaurant, and while I was, and it was doing really good. So I wanted to start the second one. While I was doing that, one day I saw one of my Bollywood movies, and that brought me back to this whole idea of changing society. And that day I asked myself a question, and that was, what can you do? You have restaurants. What can you do to give back to the society that have given you so much? A few days I was thinking about it, and then I got with this idea of inviting retirement home for a free lunch. And suddenly I invited a retirement home, and these people have been built the society that give me so much love and also give me the opportunity to study and at the same time also to achieve my dreams. Uh, so for me, it was how I can give back and say thank you for the opportunities. At the first visit, I had 40 elders on a visit in the restaurants, and suddenly the whole room was filled with a lot of love, and that created a kind of magic, um, which when they went back home to the retirement home, one of the caretaker called me and told me something. She told me on the other side of the phone, I could feel the feeling and the emotions, and she told me that one of the elders told her that on such a day she don't need her pain medication. So that created a magic. I think that whole idea of inviting them and that created a magic not only with me but with on the other side as well. So and then now it is a Dhaba tradition actually that we invite elders once in a month and give them free lunch while I'm going around in talking to them and telling them why I'm doing it. The same point that whole idea was brought to a broader audience because of a video went viral on social media, and more than 2 million people has been seeing the video. And suddenly that starts at kind of, if I got emails and I got messages, I got phone calls, and people was telling me that all these people was telling me that how they felt the love, and went and had started a tradition to go out and visit their elders. At the same time, how they feel the love in these small videos. And again, that again created a magic, created a happiness. Um, I still get a lot of emails and people telling me. So the only thing that started the whole idea was to ask the right question. And at that time, I know most of you sitting here probably at some time in your life wanted to make a difference for the society or for somebody on the other side of the globe. But we often kind of have this idea of that we don't have time, we don't have money, we will wait, we will do it when we are graduated. Um, but the only thing is to ask the right question. And the right question is, what can I do where I'm, what can I do now where I'm standing? I'm, I have restaurants, I do that. And if you are a teacher or if you are a mother, how can you teach your child about collective responsibility and about giving back to the society? And I believe that that will start a whole process and make people kind of love each other more, but at the same time, we will be able to create a better world. Uh, and we don't have to start with big things. I always say that it should be start with small things. Give a smile to a stranger, hold the door for somebody. And this morning when I was taking the cab here, I had really good conversation with the taxi driver. So all these small stuff make differences and kind of, but the biggest thing is that we often kind of sometimes we feel the highest level of happiness in our life when we achieve something, when we get accepted to the university we want, when we get children, or when we get engaged or married. But I have this idea of that giving something to somebody you don't know, a stranger, and feeling that happiness inside you is the strongest happiness I have ever had. And by that, I will only say that keep keep happy, spreading love and prosperity. And I think that's what we need in our world. I know that there's probably a lot of people creating hate like I was used to back in my childhood, but do not let other people's hate or other people's story start a hate inside you, because your story is, you are the writer of your own story. Thank you.